My city's good to tell you the tale. Everyone was left in the veil. My time won't come to an end. Take a look around, it's a war zone. The damage is already done. Take a look around, it's a war zone. The damage is already done. Take a look around. And keep your guns high. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. And I'll be fighting for my life, so keep your guns high. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. And I'll be fighting. I'm bad to the bone. Got blood on my knees. I'm bad for my life, I'm fighting. Yeah, I'm bad to the bone. Got blood on my knees. I'm bad for my life, I'm fighting.
Hello my spooky friends, it is Stacy and welcome to Special Effects Makeup on a Budget. Whether you want to kick it up in your Halloween or your cosplay game, you are in the right place because chances are you have a lot of these items at home where you can save yourself some time and money. But if you like to purchase, I've done the shopping for you, making sure that things stay affordable and well within a budget. Today I'm doing exactly that. I'm making this oatmeal zombie.
Oatmeal except premise.
Yes, you heard me right. It's liquid latex mixed with oatmeal to create a skin texture that's rotting. This is a technique that Greg Nicotero used on The Walking Dead. These were the zombies that were not front and center camera. They were kind of like behind. And then the horde zombies in the background was just makeup with no prosthetics. But this is a great way to get texture. So I hope you enjoy it. And let's just go ahead and get into it. Time to block out those eyebrows and let's spray our glue stick and not lick it. I work in small circles to cover with the growth of hair and against it, and with a spoolie I begin to lay those flat onto the skin. With a spatula I press those hairs harder to get them to stay and also remove the excess glue above and below the eyebrow. I'm more concerned today about the color than I am the texture, because I will be using a lot of black inside the orbital bone. But if you need a tutorial that will take care of texture and color, I do have one. I will link that in the description below. After using an orange color corrector, I set that using some orange eyeshadow. This is the best color to take care of dark eyebrows. And then using some foundation to bring it all back to a natural skin tone. I'm using a brush to tap in the color versus a sponge that could possibly lift color, and using more powder to set that into place, and going back in with some more foundation just to get that a little bit more opacity and more of a natural skin color. I set everything again with some more powder. And using liquid latex, this is a clear dry formula. I will link that into the description below. If you shop my links, it does help support the channel, so I do appreciate it. And I'm going in with a couple of layers of liquid latex all over the face where I know I want skin to pull up and I want the dead necrotic skin. So I also concentrate this around the mouth because most of this look is about the mangled mouth and the rotting flesh, and making sure that I have a couple of coats, and what's going to happen is it'll be easier to peel later on. And these are some teeth that I picked up from Amazon that I'm going to use up into the jaw area. In order not to go past a natural draw line, I stick my tongue into my cheek and I mark the spot. The teeth that I'm using for the bottom are the ones I purchased from Amazon, but I used them to create a zombie look about a couple of years ago. This is a gelatin based zombie that was done on a face cast, and I will have that linked in the description also. For the top teeth, these are teeth that I created using polymer plastic, and I do have a tutorial about how to sculpt in plastics. This will save you a lot of time and money to make your own teeth. It's very easy to do, so check that out if that's something that you need. From incisors and molars, you can create a lot of things with polymer plastic. So what I'm doing now that liquid latex is still tacky, I'm going in and I'm placing the teeth randomly, wanting several gaps, because I want teeth that are missing, because this zombie has been around and has eaten a lot, and so the necrotic tissue and everything comes into play with the texture of the oatmeal. But in order to secure those, I tap in a little bit more liquid latex at the top and up underneath into the jawline. And now it's time for the star of the show, the reason why you came, the oatmeal.
Oatmeal time!
Now when it comes to oatmeal, I don't have a recipe, I just eyeball it. And using a rubber spatula from the beauty supply store, I start to pour in liquid latex until I see the oatmeal begin to swim. And then I mix it with my rubber spatula, and this was still a little bit too wet, so I added another handful of oatmeal and continue to mix. And then with the spatula, I go in and create texture above and below the teeth. What I want to do is cover the top of the teeth a little bit so they're not fully exposed in some areas, and then other areas they are. Do not worry about runoff, because you can use that to your advantage by also peeling that back and mimicking a different type of skin. And with this formula being wet, you do have some time to work with it, because it will begin to cure and it will clump a little bit more. But I use that also to my advantage. So once I get all these small areas into place, you'll see that more comes up on the spatula. And then what I do is I use every little piece of liquid latex. From those pieces that get onto the fingers, I go through and I tap those in areas that I want smaller pieces of skin. And with the mixture, now that it's clumping a little bit more, I'm using that for the initial bite that turned me into a zombie to be heavy on the neck. And I go in up over the bridge of the nose to make sure that I have a lot of texture there, because I want the nose to look necrotic as well. Because when skin begins to rot, it usually has the areas that the skin is the thinnest that will start to go first, because they're more susceptible. And so that's why I make sure to put this mixture up over the bridge as well, because I'm going to make that nose dark. And here are the small pieces that begin to dry in the cup, and you see that they stretch and they have some oatmeal, but you can stretch them along the bottom areas and cover up even bigger gaps if that's what you need. As you can see here, I'm pulling it off the spatula and it's still pliable, but when you pull it, it does look like skin. So use that to your advantage and place that in areas that you need more security. Also, not only filling in gaps, it gives me the opportunity to cover up those small pieces of oatmeal that are sitting separately that actually look like oatmeal. And so with the rest of the remaining mixture in the cup, I go through and I place that onto the neck, because those areas are what's going to be the initial bite mark. And with those little pieces that you have to peel off your hand, I use those too and place those randomly where I want some more skin. Now, in order to match the jaw area and the teeth, I'm going to use tissue paper and liquid latex to build up the orbital bone. And in the process, going and I place that over the nose, up into the bone, and also a little bit of tissue paper to go in between the transition, just a little bit more buildup so it looks like it's one piece. Once that has dried, I go in and use baby powder to get rid of the tackiness all over the liquid latex. This step also helps protect the brushes, as well as getting the latex ready to take on paint. Now I'm using a black cream paint to go inside of the area to define the teeth and to hide the lips. I'm using a cream paint because it's more comfortable on the lips and it doesn't flake as if water paint will. If you're going to be eating and drinking, you may want to consider using the cream paints, but you can get by with using water paints. It's fine too. I carry the black into the orbital socket. For my skin today, I will be mixing the Indi Cosmetics colored foundation with some regular foundation, and I'm mixing this onto a mixing palette. I got this from Shop Miss A. It's very sturdy and it comes with a spatula. So I'm mixing the yellow and white with the foundation and very little green, because green will overpower it. And then once I find a color that I like, I go in with a brush, also from Shop Miss A. This brush is like $1.88 and it's at an angle and it's fantastic. I've used it and I've had to clean it and it's holding up beautifully. So I get all the oatmeal color down into the neck. Don't forget the ears. It's just a good practice to have. And don't worry if your brush picks up some of that black. Having the colors blended like this does help the look. And again, to set everything, I'm going back in with some more baby powder. To highlight the orbital bone, I'm going back in on my palette and I'm mixing the yellow with the foundation just to highlight that and make it pop a little bit more. With some brown eyeshadow, I'm going in and making the skin look more necrotic, placing it in the areas that I'm going to pull the skin up, and then also blending that into the orbital socket. One thing that's so fun about doing zombie makeup is making the skin look necrotic, because it is not precise in its design. It depends on the weather, the elements that the zombies in, the age of decay, the activity of the zombie, so just have fun with it and make it your own. I'm using another brown for more dimension and more necrotic skin, and I just go in and tap over the areas and blend those colors together. I also like to use yellow when I'm doing necrotic skin, and this is the ColourPop 9-pan matte eyeshadow palette called Sunshine. Their 9-pan monochromatic palettes run about $9 a piece, and they often have 30% off entire site-wide sales. This is a good one to pick up to do necrotic skin, plus it's also completely matte. There's not a shimmer or a glitter in it, so it goes a long way. Using my black cream paint, I go back in and get that orbital socket a little bit darker now that it's mixing with all the other colors that I used in the eyeshadow. Using this black around the face as well as in the orbital bone, orbital socket, I'm able to tap out a little bit black and to make the skin look even more necrotic. I'm trying to find another word for dead skin and necrotic, so I don't know how many times I've used necrotic, but I think maybe I had to have a counter. Let's see how many times. Using my tweezers, I go in and pull the liquid latex around the other areas of the face to pull that back to create more dead and necrotic skin. I do the same thing around the nose, because the tip of the nose is black and I want that skin to look peeled at the top and around the edges. Take your time lifting the oatmeal and the cotton. Let it come at its own, because you don't want to run the risk of removing the entire prosthetic, so just go slowly. Once you get all the skin lifted, you will have some void in your paint. Just go back in with some more black and that will take care of that. And I'm also using the black to redefine the teeth as well, and a little bit more separation in between some of the areas. And I also wanted to show you that you can eat and drink in this makeup. It's very easy. You can see I'm able to drink some water.
That's what I call high quality H2O.
Here is a quick tip if you're running out of browns for your makeup look. You can pick this up at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and it's what I use to clean my brushes in between the time I'm actually able to wash them. That material will collect, and you can use that to create that mottled, rotten skin look. Oh, I forgot to say necrotic. Now going in with some scab blood. This is my homemade scab blood. You see it makes a lot of product at once. It saves you a lot of money, and I do have a tutorial about how to make 5 different types of blood, including zombie blood, and I will link that in the description below. I continue to place my scab blood around different areas of the mouth, going through the bottom of the teeth and tapping in color past the jawline to make it look like dry blood. Try not to cover the entire thing. I know it's easy to get carried away with the blood because it's so fun, but you don't want to get rid of all the hard work that you've done. I place some more scab blood into those bite marks, making sure that that's very thick because those would have bled because the person was alive before they got infected with the virus. So I keep in mind that that is going to be blood that's more coagulated than others. And I also had the idea in mind that the zombie's been around and has bitten and eaten enough people, so it's got some more flesh that has rotted inside the teeth. I tap out my scab blood in order to create a dried blood look. And if your teeth are white, you need them to be stained. I'm using the Maron's Tooth Effect in the color Nicotine. Now you can use this on your real teeth, but I do not do that because I have a bunch of crowns and I don't want them to stain. And there is a possibility that will stain anything that's not a natural tooth. But you can use this on the skin and tap out the color. But I wanted to show you some store-bought zombie blood. You see it's dark and very viscous compared to the scab blood, but it's going to add to the effect because once tissue starts to break down, it breaks down chemically and it is runny and gelatinous. So I'm adding that to my nose and the area above the forehead, as well as the bite marks into the skin. And you can see if you make this thin, you can continue to tap that color to get that dried blood look. So now it's time for some zombie hair, and now that my hair is dirty and it needs to be washed, I'm going to add some conditioner to really sell the look of dirty hair. And also, if you want that scalp to look just as necrotic as well, add some green paint into the conditioner and get that pushed in to cover up that scalp. Here is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this one today. It's always fun to do a zombie look, and I know there's been a few of you that have been waiting for another liquid latex zombie makeup. So here you have it with some oatmeal. And if you'd like to see sneak peeks or behind the scenes footage or vote on my next look, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Those links are below. So what is your favorite zombie movie? What's your favorite type of zombie movie? Is it the zombies that move slow or the zombies that move fast? Were you a fan of The Walking Dead? Are you watching any of the new spin-offs? Let me know in the comments below. Now that you've conquered a zombie look with oatmeal, there are even more budget-friendly ways to create this look. Chances are you have these items in your kitchen. In this next video, I will show you how to create a high-end zombie look with minimal products that will save you time and money. Click here now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.